welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at gods5minutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. When the Israelites stood on the banks of Jordan's crossing for their first entrance into the Promised Land, God commanded them, Joshua 3:4, "Come not near unto the ark, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore." True enough was that observation. The way forward lay through water-rounded stones in the river's bed where no one had ever walked before. Moses, their first leader, was dead. There were only 2 in the whole company who had ever been out of the desert in their lives. Before them lay Jericho, gleaming whitely across the plain among the palm trees, with its towering fortifications and its fierce, wicked warriors. No wonder their watchword, both from God and among themselves, was, "Be of a good courage, be strong and fear not." As newcomers in a strange land, they needed special guidance, and as long as they followed the command given them, they were sure to have it in the form of the visible ark, carried on the shoulders of men they personally knew, always within their range of vision and always leading the way. The crowd was large. It was less a military force than a caravan of all ages, both genders, unprepared for abrupt maneuver or forceful defense. So God told them to keep a distance of about 3/4 of a mile between themselves and the ark in the foreground. Let there be a space between you and the ark. You won't be able to see where it's going if you crowd it. Be patient. It's leading you where you've never been before. If you give it room, you will see Jordan's banks are steep. If you need to cut steps on the opposite side for the elderly and young, if branches lie in the way, you are going down an untrodden path. In some ways, much of our lives seem routine. We return to the same sheltering roof night after night. We drive the same roadways when we leave home. We maintain the same circle of friends and acquaintances. And yet, life is new every day. One of life's great constants is change. It always comes. No man ever crosses the same river twice, for between one crossing and the next the river has changed, and so has the man. But the greatest things that makes each day its own venture into the unknown is that none of us can see what lies around the next turn of the road. God has fixed a veil that hangs between us and the future, and though we may sometimes grumble at it and petulantly try to twist pinholes in it, in fact, it is a blessing. It brings freshness into our lives, anticipation, expectation, even hope. Life for each of us is still so full of possibilities, so great, and at the same time so terrible, we well may view the mist that covers the future as a special kindness of our God. Isn't life interesting? It is full of sudden surprises that spring upon us, of unexpected temptations, of earthquakes that can shatter the most solid-seeming lives, even sudden calamity. The sorrows, faint hearts dread seldom come, and those that do are seldom foreseen. Anything may come out of the unknown future, and there are some things concerning which all we know is that they must come. This being guided by the ark was a new thing to these sojourners. Until that moment they were led by a daytime cloud, nighttime pillar of fire. But with the crossing of Jordan, these supernatural elements ceased, and their guide became something they had made themselves, containing the tablets of the covenant, moving under the direction of Joshua, as human as they were. And what that did symbolize, for therein lies the lesson. The ark was a type of Jesus Christ, and this manner of leadership is referenced by his words, "If ye love me, keep my commandments." We are to live as he taught us, loving others as ourselves, living holy lives. Let that be first. Then if we watch how he works with us, we will see how he leads through the brambles and rough places into the future without spot and blameless, and understand through his leading that he's walked through the mists and the veils that are ahead of us, understands the way before we do, and will safely guide and govern us through it. It is a sure blessing to follow in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. Have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at godsfiveminutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.